Hey, what's up? So I started this live and then it looks like my boyfriend's about to come in the room and go to bed. I just wanted to do a quick live and check in with everybody. Hi, Love's Greatness. Because I know the energies have been really, really, really high the past few days. Hey, Brenda. And I just wanted to offer you my support and any insights if anybody was, concerned about anything. So, I don't know. I just thought I'd come on, check with all of you, anybody. See how you guys are feeling, how you are. Allergies? Yeah. Hey, Max. So I might have to move into the other room or whatever, just to keep this going for a few minutes, but it's all good. Did it really, Brenda? I haven't been keeping up with that. Wow. Is it, was it a larger one? Because I know they've been having little rumbles for a while. And from what I understand, earthquakes really signal people waking up, just like the Sahara dust. I mean, I have a theory. Usually I don't call things theories, but that is a theory of mine, that the Sahara dust is actually a signal of humanity waking up. Strangely enough, when we go through the molecular shift and do the purification, we're actually releasing iron. The magnetosphere is kind of opening up into the, new realm, and that's my take on that. But interesting. Okay, well, I pray that everybody's safe. It does seem like with many of these events, people are remaining safe. As we know, we can't really trust. There's like nowhere to turn for good information, which has made me pretty upset the past, for a little while now, right? But it's got pretty rough where they've just tried to take control of everything and only run the narrative, but they're having to change the narrative so much that they can't even really keep up. So, hi that way. I do feel like my consciousness has expanded even more as of the past few days, and that's been interesting, trying to settle into all of that. But I just keep trusting a higher source that we're reconnecting to, of pure love and benevolence. So keep that in mind. Okay, hang on a sec. I started live. Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, forgive me, I'm just like in my pajamas, trying to relax, trying to stay peaceful and calm, but I still wanted to come on and say hi. Very interesting. I will definitely look into that. But I pray that everybody's safe. God protects us, exactly. Thank you, Brenda. That's how I'm feeling. And, I don't know, I guess I can share a little bit of how I've been feeling. Um, for a while, I felt like I was here to help bring comfort with clarity or help clear confusion up. But with all of the mess out there, I mean, I get confused. I've felt pretty confused, and I just keep coming back to God is love and benevolence. And hi, Debbie. Much love. That, God is love and benevolence, and that we've all chosen to be here at this time. There have been a lot of things designed to kind of toy with our minds and our consciousness as it expands. And I think that is probably part of the journey, you know. It does speak as to, evil will be used for good. So we're going to just use all of that to, none of us are immune to fear, I don't think, completely. We all have our areas that we, are still trying to overcome and understand, and things that bother us. So we just use this to overcome that once and for all. I think there's a lot of transmutation of ancient energies, and um, it's not always easy, for sure. But as I said recently, it always passes, and we're always better for it. Hey, Spaced Out. Great. Doing the best we can. I hope your family's doing well. I know you've had some ups and downs, just like we all have. Much love to you, Spaced Out. You're a sweetheart. I think you're awesome. Yep, and we just need to continue to listen to our heart, because Mother Earth will tell us what we need to get through. So I think you're alone in this feeling. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Brenda. It's really comforting to hear. Hi, my skies. Hey, what's up, Tay? Putting the smack down on abusive relationships. Yeah. It's like with everything else going on, why can't everybody just come to, the same place of love? I really think that's what we're headed towards. But it sure seems like, when you look out there, it's like, wow, how close are we to that even becoming a reality? But I think that we're closer than we realize. I see the wheel turning for the upside. I do. Hi, Scott Breeze. Yes, the financial thing is very interesting. I understand that very much. Hi, E. Lots of love to you. I'm glad you're here. Understood, T. I love you guys. I think, yeah, what do you think? The full moon energy is so strong. So that's another thing I try to keep in mind. Sometimes these full moons come and it gets really intense. But the moon is so many things, more than we realize. So many things. So many good things. And it really is our spiritual connection. And, we were a bit cut off from it. There was hijacked agendas, and a big thing that I'm reminding myself that I want you guys to remember too is that this is about sovereignty. Like, we're entering sovereignty. Once you enter Jupiter realm, as I teach spiritual science, Jupiter realm is the land of being sovereign. It is the matrix of humanity, the original omniverse that was hijacked. As these storylines go. But that once we overcome those lower realms, those lower thought forms, and we also awaken and remember who we are, and we enter Jupiter realm, we're sovereign and free. Like, we are free. Even if it doesn't seem like it, even if we're having to weed through all of these thoughts that we were inundated with throughout our awakening, we're free to choose. We have endless possibilities. And we are still co-creating together and individually. with Source. So I don't ever want anybody to feel like they don't have a choice going forward. You know, this is about getting to be free for the first time in a long while. And I'm finding out that I think that we have overcome more than we understand. So it's going to be pretty, you know, the confusion is going to clear more and more. Thank you that way. Some of you guys have been really amazing support for me as well when I've needed it, and I just want to thank you so much. I'll check that. Hi, Mysteriously. Life is crazy, yeah. I really think that we're on our way to a much more beautiful, serene, peaceful, more of a fairy tale type situation, you know, because we've been able to overcome all of this. And ultimately, every soul will find its way back. And it's getting to the point where we don't have to be concerned with trying to awaken the rest of humanity. Like, the writing is on the wall and the work is done. It's a finished work, honestly. Oh, I couldn't do this without you guys. I really couldn't. Yeah, you guys are amazing. Well, anybody else have anything to say while I'm here? I don't want to make this boring, but I wanted to come on and I know it's like a black screen, but hey. Oh, cool. I was hoping that maybe, you know, Source would come through and bring comfort to me and to whoever needed it. Oh, Spaced Out Productions. I pray that the inflammation go down. Obviously, there's a process with healing, so as much as we read about these miracles that were performed, I'm not saying that miracles can't happen, because they can, but since we are on this journey, sometimes healing is a process, and I have no doubt that he is going to feel much, much better, much sooner than you expect. But I do pray that his inflammation be reduced, and your mom too. I know they're sweet, and we all just want to feel comfortable and good and peaceful. And I just pray that everybody can feel that for more than just moments. You know, I want us to all get to a place where we feel that we deserve that. We do. We deserve that as conscious beings, and we will have that. God will make a way, Brenda. I'm going to read your comment. God will make a way somehow, even when it seems impossible. Sometimes a learning experience when we might feel it is beyond, but necessary for the next steps of growth. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. That's the message I got that I am not able to put into words for myself. That, you know, some of the things that I'm faced with kind of weeding out and trying to understand have left me feeling quite just this certain way that I haven't felt in a long time. But that, you know, that feeling is necessary for growth and for the next steps. And I literally did. I had that actual message in Gematria, which I've been stepping away from because, you know, I've warned you guys about it. Yes, mysteriously kind, absolutely. I've warned, I hate that word warned, but I hate the word hate. Forgive me, guys. I'm not really practiced at this. I don't know. I've mentioned that in that database, there's a lot more lies and fear than there is truth, and that I took a lot of time weeding through it, and it's really left my mind spinning. While it did help me to find some truths that I don't know how many people have, or have even like a platform to share these truths on, or that want to share these truths that I'm learning, that I use my heart to learn and find few and far between the false messages in there, because it's been used as a tool for the Illuminati and whatnot, and other things. And hi, Troll Hunter. But I wouldn't take it back. I'm just having to kind of like scale back and feel in my heart what matters. But from what I understand, that whole database got taken over at some point, and I've noticed that many positive and hopeful, true messages have been removed or hidden. So that's been a bit of a disappointment. But luckily, I was in there before that took place, before like whatever agenda took it over. I'm not going to point fingers anymore because they know who they are. But hi Leslie. Um, I just I got in there before that happened, so I did find I was able to record and understand some really great truths before I never saw them again. And I have them all, and I have them with me. And I can't wait to share more and more of that as I speak of. But I've been told, like, when the time is right, that will happen. But it's been real interesting. And I also haven't really, I smoke pot on and off, or take cannabis internally, or however, I take it medicinally. I have pretty much my whole, like, adolescent and adult life on and off. But I haven't really been drawn to smoking for the past few days, and it's caused my head to be extremely clear and for me to feel very, very aware of everything. So that's been a little overwhelming, but it's starting to calm down and pass. And I think that that has to do with the moon energies as well. Yes, goodness and truth does not promote fear. Oh, whoopsie. I had an overheat, so I grabbed a bag of frozen corn, and we should be good to go for a little while. Darn it. Sorry about that. Hi, Rodzora. Yeah, sometimes I don't know if it's really my phone or what. It does this quite often. I don't know if it's just this like software from YouTube Live or what, but I apologize. Yay. There's a lot of good people out there, few and far between. I saw this really cool video. I've gotten to the point where I don't trust anything from anyone, and that's not cool, right? So I'm sure I see that other people are there with me, and that's not a good feeling. So that's another reason I wanted to come on and connect and remind you that we're all in our little corners doing great, great works, that are changing the entire world. Because once we do become sovereign, we're part of, the writing of the universal law and the exercising of the universal law, and it becomes harder and harder for the lower thought forms and vibrations to not basically surrender and come home as well. So we're doing great works, you guys. And I know I feel weary, and I know many of you feel weary, but I do have many messages saying that that things will really start to change. And the way that I see that happening is that literally it's like the wheel turning for the upside. So, the inertia takes a little time to start heading the other way, but that's for the protection of everybody, for all human consciousness, so that we can all come to this place. What else is going on? I don't know anything about it. I know it's frustrating, Rodsor. It was interesting. I went out today and I went to a kava bar that I used to go to a lot. And I couldn't believe the like minds that were there. They weren't quite thinking or talking about some of the same things that I was feeling, but there was a lot of support through other people. And there's that thing, that I've shared, that God shows up just in time, and God shows up through us for others, and also through others for us. Is it fuzzy? Hi, Belle. So much love. Yeah, what's going on? You guys tell me. That's kind of what I went over, Leslie. I think maybe right before you came on, I'm feeling the same way, on and off. And it's not that they're not helping us, it's that we must overcome these things, some of these things on our own. They're here helping us more than we know. They are. So this is where faith and trust in a very loving and benevolent God comes in. Nothing less than love and benevolence. So if it's not love, then it's not from God. And you can toss it as much as you can purge it from your consciousness, which is not always easy. The airwaves were offline. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, beyond understanding. That's the other thing that's kind of baffling. So I'm thinking that I've kind of known that we take those with us, the innocent, the ones that don't really have a specific interest in what's going on, but they're not against us either. They just come with us and they learn as they go, and it's not going to be as jarring. We took on that jarring and we took on all that healing for them. Spooky Purple, much love. Thank you very much. I know, I just want good for the world. I only want human consciousness to be completely protected and, for us to experience what God meant. Like, I have this knowing of what the original covenant that we had as humans with God was, but I still have yet to, specifically be able to spell it out. But it does not include suffering or fear. And so we're going to come back to that, and we can continue to live our soul's purpose in this lifetime, and everything will be all right. And you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about things that shouldn't happen coming in to happen. It's, you have your covenant back with God. It's restored. So even if it's your subconscious working with God. Everything will be taken care of, and you don't have to fear the things that we did. And that's going to take some adjustment to understand. Hi, John Roberts. Yes, exactly. Your brother's with in understanding with you. That's something to feel gratitude towards. I bet that your brother understands. Yes, people are waking up more and more, and it's not going to be as jarring for them. It's quite miraculous. I mean, I'm not going to say that this all isn't a bit trippy, because it kind of can be, since we're just working on faith and being fed a bunch of fear. So it kind of, it makes sense that it would be. Yes, we are doing really great works, and we need to be here for each other. New Earth is going to happen in this lifetime. It's really, really coming in. If you remember, a good thing to go over is the Hopi prophecy. It's been interpreted for us in many different ways, but if we look at it again now, we can interpret it a little more correctly. I'm realizing that these plane trails that we see are not chemical. They're vapor signs from God. I'm not sure if it was always that way. A couple of years ago when I first started to see it, I absolutely thought it was something very non-benevolent. But I have expanded my thinking on all of that, and now the crafts that I see, these are the higher beings. They are emanating spirit forms that we're not used to seeing. But if you look in the Hopi prophecy, it speaks about the fifth world emerging, and I try to keep that in mind. So, an emergence is obviously like a kind of a perfect leaving and coming in of something, and I think that's just how it has to happen. And it also speaks about all of us coming to push the clouds of darkness away so that humanity can be free again. Hi, Ashley Smith. Oh, I'm so grateful that you were as well. Very, very glad. Thank you for being here. Yes, prayer works. That is a huge message. Thank you, John Roberts, that I have used and that I would like for others to be aware of as well, is that I've mentioned it before, but there was some funny stuff going on with prayer, and it was being directed in the wrong areas, but that has been fixed, and we have our connection with Source back, and prayer absolutely works. It's kind of like manifestation working quickly. It's the same type of thing, but I know many of us are walking, living prayers, so we're doing the work for more than just our lifetimes, and that can be hard to really comprehend. And when you feel weary and it's been so long, and there's some reason that it's not that we're blind to the change, but it's almost like we're not supposed to fully see the emergence as it's happening. It's like we're just supposed to keep doing it until that critical mass takes place, and that's really happening. But it's just going to mean that Earth is a much better place to live, and that we have a choice again as souls, the way that we were meant to. Hey, what's up, Rebel? Love you guys. slavery system is crashing, yes. And I think that, like, even though there's been all these hijacked agendas, I mean, I even see where, like, the I am agenda is a hijacked one. I can't be sure that that's really the case. But obviously, the people practicing it and understanding it and applying it aren't all doing it with evil intent. So it's almost like we have to just come together and share what we understand and weed out the rest, because we all have truths and keys, for sure. It is reassuring to find people in our physical environments that are going through the same thing. And I guess that's what I was saying, like, earlier. It seemed like I experienced that more than ever. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people that I almost envied them, looking at them and seeing them relaxed and carefree. Like, I remember somewhat being not too long ago, but I knew that we were doing great work and that we would have that peace and serenity and happiness and joy again beyond what we can imagine. That is promised to us, and I don't want anybody to lose sight of that, because it doesn't feel like that's the case sometimes. Hi, Nathan. Thank you. Sending you good thoughts and beauty and love as well. Yeah, it does come clear. It sure does. Alignment is key. I like that. Good one, Leslie. Well, I think that, I think that I don't always know what I think anymore, but that I know that we didn't come this far for nothing, and that we are promised our peace and sovereignty back. So, thank you. You're awesome that way. By the way, that way is very passionate about a very, very true message. Having to do with the birth name. Do check it out if it resonates with you. He believes that that is the mark of the beast. I have a little bit of insight that takes me further with the mark of the beast, and while that could probably sum it all up and cover it all, essentially, it also really is, there's some other aspects to it that I understand as well, but I think that there's some really good solutions, so do check out what That Way has to say. He has a playlist. I'm still trying to understand, because if we're entering a new world, I believe that we will have systems in place that work properly. I don't think that systems need to mean what they have meant in the past. I believe that everybody should have a basic income so that we can kind of get on our feet and learn what it is to have our heart's desires attainable again. I think, to me, that's a really good solution, is to grant everybody the same amount of basic income. That is just my take on things. But we have a lot of beautiful minds that can come up with solutions going forward. So nothing's set in stone. And that's my message here. Nothing is set in stone. Not even the hearts of the enemies anymore. The perceived enemy, as I like to say. Even their hearts are turning from stone. beyond understanding. That's really cool. It's been hard to watch my child go through this, although he's so strong, and I know he's probably here for me. He probably came here to freaking help me, but sometimes I get overwhelmed because I just want him to have peace and happiness, and sometimes I wonder if our hearts can recover because he's had the same kind of terrible experiences with people that I have. And not to be in a victim mode, but we just know as spirits of God that, there's a world out there programmed to discourage us from rising, like we are anyway. And I just pray that all of our hearts recover right now, that we really, really start to have our hearts redeemed, and we've gone through the purification, and now my prayer is that our hearts can be healed, like before any other traumas take place. Or I think that we've all been through enough as far as seeing the ugliness and hate and fear out there. And I think it's time that we get to recover from that. I think it's time that we get to know that there is recovery from that. Yeah, Leslie, very good insight. Beautiful. Yeah, spaced out. You missed a few minutes that were pretty good where we kind of talked about some really nice, hopeful things. So do go back and take a listen when we're done. Because even though we're tired and our hearts are being pulled back together from pieces, we're still the spreaders of hope. And love. We are love. Thank you for saying so, spaced out. I'm also grateful for you. I know you get it, Nathan. You've been so patient and kind and loving and open-minded. And I know that we've been pulled in so many different directions, you guys. A lot of it was distraction. I'm not gonna pretend like everyone's on some path. Like, there's a lot of distraction out there, you guys. I'm sure that you've all recognized it by now. And you guys are helping me work through this too, so thank you, because I have my moments of feeling very overwhelmed and letting some of the ideas that I've exposed myself to get to me. And I have to remember the things that we're remembering right now. So thank you very much. I believe that really no matter what's happening, I think that everybody's okay. I remember seeing that other countries were on different timelines, and that's pretty mind-bending to think, but it kind of made sense to me with the emergence that we're talking about, like the emergence of the new world. I don't think that there's a lot of suffering going on. I just don't. I don't believe it. So I believe that the media, that the simulated part of our reality, the parts that they want us to think are a certain way by staging it, that's the simulated part of our reality, okay? It's become harder and harder for them to lie Like, they cannot continue to stage things. It's against universal law, and it's not working out for them anymore. I mean, they're taking, I think that this whole you know what thing that they're spreading fear on everywhere, I believe that that's their last, like, they seem weaker than we do for sure. They're much more tired and weak than we are because they're not able to steal our life force. They will have to surrender, and they can be restored too. It takes what some would term repentance or whatever, but that's between them and God. And they can be restored just as quickly as we will be. So I think that that's really going to start taking place more and more. I can see it already. So nice to be here with you guys. Yes, have a beautiful week, Brenda. Thank you for all your beautiful words here. Yes, exactly, spaced out. Isn't it wild? It's true. Like, we kind of are the internet. You know, that electrical field, that telepathy that we really do have that's being restored. You see, the ones that had us in the lower realms, even though we were higher beings, do I want to talk about this? I guess so. Came up. They gave themselves gifts that they didn't necessarily have, but they misused those gifts. And they can have the opportunity to use our gifts as superpowered humans properly, but it's going to take a change in heart, and that change in heart is happening, like I had said. I don't think that they could all hope what they did, but they're going to have a chance to make things right, tell the truth if that's what needs to be done, and hey, Bailey Fion, peace and love. Good night, spaced out. But yeah, I guess my point in that is that there's been a lot of, like, what would be called brain invading, and that's those, like, lower thought forms being pushed on us unnecessarily to keep the vibrations low. That would be considered invading brains, you know, to falsely infiltrate people's mind with scary thoughts that keep them enslaved is not a practice that God's going to continue to allow. So I see that they're losing momentum and steam, which was hijacked momentum and steam anyway, and they can be healed completely. I posted something not too long ago. I do use the word Satan. It's a generalization for whatever you'd like to understand or call these lower thought forms, these lower vibrations, you know, the lie, whatever, false information, whatever, okay? But, you know, everyone can be forgiven because we can blame it on that. You know, that doesn't mean we're victimizing ourselves. It means that we understand we were under an influence of something that is not of us, that we were here to overcome. Yes, John Roberts, exactly. I was healed from a really strange place. Like, yeah, I mean, if pray, it works. Prayer works. I'm a little bit at a loss for words right now, but yes, everything that John Roberts said. Thank you that way. I appreciate you as well. You guys are so sweet. I know, Debbie, I know. And, you know, even some of the stuff, I know, Debbie, that's beautiful. Even some of the stuff that I've sent you guys to, you know, I've turned around and realized was not what I teach. But what is that saying? There's truth in the lie, but there's no lie in the truth. So we will continue to eliminate the lie, but the lie is anything that's not love. And that's a lot of things that we've been learning over the past several years. So we can eliminate a lot. And that's, I think, kind of where my mind is swimming and spinning. It's like, I want to eliminate all this stuff, but it's like, it's been an invasion. And so I'm praying that all of those things be lifted, all of those unnecessary thoughts and false enslavement ideas and beliefs that were thrown at us, that they be just removed and lifted and become forgotten so that we can move forward and rise. We need to use our collective consciousness. Yes. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here with me. I'll stay on for a few more minutes just because, you know, when do I get to come on and talk to you guys like this? Not very often. But I would like to more and more. If I can just get over my nervousness on camera, show my face. Nope. And you know what, John Roberts? Aries tend to be like my best friends in life, so I'm pretty sure if you're born in April. Thank you, Bailey Pham, very much. Thank you. So are you. And I think that if you're born in April, oh, see, and then there's the Taurus, and Taurus are my next best friends. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's vanity or if it's just what, but it feels more like shyness. So I'm gonna go with its shyness, but that doesn't, you know, I need to get over it. So I'll get over it. I'm a Leo too. My skies is a Virgo. That makes sense, my skies. How are things going, my skies? Things been going pretty good. Aw, thanks, John. I do have videos where I'm like on camera. I put it in a playlist if anyone was curious, but I just don't think I look the same as I do, and I think that's probably common, but yeah, that's what I was wondering. How's the trees? I mean, I do get messages in Gematria all the time that God wants us to use cannabis, and it's very healing. I don't know, sometimes I just need a little clear-headedness, but I don't know, at the same time, my head is too clear sometimes, so I go back and forth, but I love it. Thank you. You're so right, Bailey Pham. I think that's one of my parts of the journey. Gotta overcome. Thank you for the encouragement. Debbie, you're a Gemini. Yeah, the vibe helps me as well. Oh, good morning in the UK. That's so cool how we're on like totally different timelines. See, proof right here. Oh, thanks. There's so many beautiful women in this world, aren't there? So many. So many nurturing, beautiful people. I just want us to be highlighted. That's been one of my prayers lately, is that not just like God's chosen. I mean, I think that everyone's really God's chosen, really. It's just if we decide to take the calling, but that we would be able to rise to the forefront so that people could see the hope and feel the hope and hear the hope. And again, it's emergent. It's happening in an emergence, I guess, or in perfect timing, divine timing. So just trusting on that one. But I feel like I so want hope to be released to the whole world. It would make such a difference for everybody. It would make this transition so much more smooth. It wouldn't just benefit the people that don't know what's going on or the people that have been made to be in fear. It would also benefit the people that have been unknowingly or knowingly spreading the fear, or that, some agenda, or supporting something that was against universal law. Like, we can help everybody if you just let us. Just let us. I see all the time God's angels will heal everybody, but they have to let us. They have to let us. Oh yeah, great idea, Leslie. I've been taking like really hot showers, and I have this lavender oil, and I put it on, and with the steam and everything, it's so very relaxing. That's okay, John. You catch what you need. Hi, Laurel. Good to know. Thank you, Laurel. Thank you. I needed you guys so much. And that's why I just went ahead and hit go. I was like, just get on there and hit go and talk to people like you want to, because they're there. They are starving. Yeah, they are. But they can find nourishment in love and healing, and that is being offered to them. I don't want to see anybody suffer. I don't want to see anybody have hard times. Like, what? I want to rise to just watch a bunch of people reap their karma? No, I want everybody to be okay. I'm willing to look the other way on so many things that went so far. It's so deep. I mean, just me personally, I'm willing to overlook so much just so that we can help everybody be okay. And I don't think I'm alone with that. Do you want to share it, Mysteriously Kind? I love your words. Please share. How do you keep your vibe high, Mike? Can you share that with us? To understand all is to forgive all. Rodzor, yes. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, yes, I know. That's another reason I came on here selfishly, to remind myself that I'm not alone. Because I definitely feel that, Leo, like I have to do something, and I get the message that, no, thank you for doing the work that we've done, but it's not a requirement. but like that's who we are. We're just warriors. That's who we are. That's what we're gonna do. That's it is. We did. But we also came here for ourselves. We came to ascend and learn and overcome for ourselves too. And you can only, like, I can't think of any sayings, like, beat on a dead horse for so long, but I believe that there's life to be had where some don't realize it's possible. So this message is for everybody. Mysteriously kind. I prayed for God to help lift me out of my anxiety and my fear and to help me better connect with the people around me. Wow, we pray very similarly. That's beautiful. Yep. And it's almost immediate. Again, there's so many parts of the process where there is a purification, or sometimes it doesn't completely go away like we might want it, but our prayers are being answered so strongly and clearly that we must remember to pray and strengthen that connection with Source, because Source is working through us. That's what I was telling myself today again. I forgot that one. I love this. My Skies 5D. I have a self-diagnosed case of paranoia or pronoia, the opposite antidote cure for paranoia. Okay, so I'm not familiar with those terms. I'm going to have to look into those. The belief in knowing that the universe is ultimately conspiring in your best interest and not against you. That's it. That's really what we're all saying, right? Just remember, God is love, God is benevolence, and don't you guys think that the universe has your back? Absolutely. The universe has our back, big time. We can't fail. We literally cannot fail. The end was written from the beginning, and that's how we know that love wins. And we can't fail. It's great. I know, mysteriously kind. I felt that in person today, though I felt like there were so many that were on the same spiritual path. I felt like I still was having a hard time feeling fully connected. So, you know, not to elevate myself, because some of these people had overcome the things that I'm overcoming now, right? There's plenty that have come before me, and there's going to be many that come after. Thank you, God. But it's still kind of a lonely feeling at times. I do know, but that's why I feel so grateful for you guys right now, because I'm feeling it here, and it's that confirmation that we're spread out in our little areas. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I get the message all the time, the 144, whether that be the frequency, the number, all, both, whatever it might be, whatever that symbolizes and signifies, that we are being brought home to live out our soul's purpose properly. And I also want you to see this really cute thing. I put it on my community page, so if you love what I'm saying, I want you to go and check that out. It helps me out, I think. I hadn't seen the channel for a long time that it came from. So I don't know, like, what the channel, I don't know what his message is, but it seems to be a positive one. And if somebody's not against us, they're with us, right? That's what I'm deciding, because it's become so clear. And so he seems like a great guy. Don't quote me, I don't remember him. I'll paste the link below for those that are listening another time. Really beautiful, put together message about warriors that came at this time. And it's almost from a future perspective, and it's really cool. So check that out. I posted it on my community page, and I will post it in the link below. And though it might not be like all precise, it's a beautiful message, and it was comforting. It was two little girls speaking telepathically, as they're they're in the future. It was just really cool. You guys will see it. I think it's a message to warriors, something like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know, don't worry, John. I'm gonna go soon too. I'm gonna try to go to sleep, but I don't know. I took a nap a little bit ago. I kind of was having some overwhelming feelings, and I actually fell asleep for a little bit, and it was a relief. And then, when I woke up, I decided to come on and talk to you guys. But I'm gonna see if I can get some rest. Ooh, negative 24. Wow, Rhea. It's wild. That's awesome, my skies. Stay true to your convictions and fear nothing. Awesome. We must go within. That is where we connect, yes. Yeah, right? I don't like that freezing cold, to be honest. But how long have you lived there, Rhea? You must be kind of used to that every so often in Canada, right? Rhea has an amazing channel documenting the same stuff we are, all the changes in the sun and the sky, and she does a beautiful job. You climatize, right? I found some good meditations. I'm pretty cautious. You gotta use your heart when finding some meditations, but they really do help. Or like the ancient frequencies. Find one that you feel, is pure and good, and you'll be led to the right thing. But that really, really does help as a natural kind of aid, because it really is all about frequencies. I know, we have the same tattoo. Oh, I'm so glad you reminded me of that. I love that. Hi, Big Red. Hi, Renee. Good night, John Roberts. Hydrate. Rhea, I have been so resistant to drinking water for years. I don't know why. I think it had something to do with the molecular change. You would think that you should probably drink more, and maybe I would have gotten through it faster had I stayed more hydrated. But I've just started to become thirsty lately, and I just am like, how could I have not drunk more water? I'm gonna go drink a big glass of water before I go to sleep. Good night, Bayleithium. Good night, Laurel. Hi, Root Down. Oh, and Root Down Rise Up Breathwork has such a gift. Go to her channel. I'll be honest, I've been having trouble making myself sit still enough to do meditations, and it's like, we're supposed to be taking the path of Yeshua, right? And even though all of the writings weren't correct, we know that this spiritual being who I teach about was a master at these things. I don't know why I'm so resistant to them. So go check out. She does beautiful work, breath work, clearing, purification. You might want to explain it in your own words, but such a gift. It's a free gift from God right here on YouTube. And you wouldn't know it unless you were led to it, because it's miracle work, and it's not being displayed. And I would love if things like that could come to the forefront and rise and be shown for all to heal with, and not be hidden while such darkness is promoted. transmuting energy. Beautiful. That's what we're doing right now. That's why we all feel high energy. We're transmuting so much energy right now. You too, Root? Oh my gosh. It's so freaking nice to not feel alone with all of this. I would love that too, Renee. Yeah, let's plan on doing that soon. I think I'll get back on Facebook and all of that soon. I am on Instagram, but I'm not on there very often. I'll see if I can post my link and stuff below. I'll post my Instagram link below. I wanted to share my sky pictures just to help people become more aware, but I'm realizing that, people can't see the same things we see. Like, we have evolved in a short amount of time. It's really, really, truly miraculous. Our eyes, the scales have fallen off of our eyes, and we can see into the new realm. And most people are still seeing what we used to see, just clouds. They just see clouds. They don't see the colors, and they don't see the shapes. But I feel like really blown away by that, because boy, that dragon next to the sun has been huge. I haven't even shared with you because I've just been a little bit overwhelmed lately, past several days. I think I shared a few pictures on my community. I can't believe the sky, and I see it with all of you guys that are posting that. Like, it's here. It's all around. It's here. And it's just the spirit realm. It's just the ether. It's just the beauty that we're going to live with and work with. It's nothing startling, but it's still mind-bending. And I don't understand how people literally don't see it at all. Don't see it. They don't see it. I was speaking to a girl who I watched go through the molecular change. But she's an angel in a place that needs it. Okay, she's a girl that's she's a caseworker for child services. And she sees that satanic system. It's a company called Eckerd Alternatives. And if you'll remember, here in Florida, this is gonna overheat. Hold on. Okay. If any of you have lived in Florida, or I don't know, Eckerd might have been nationwide, but it was an actual drugstore for a long time. But they also have these centers that they've opened, and they claim to be for charity. But it's kind of like the old Jewish royal families that have just grabbed a big piece of society and are running their operations the way that they see fit, completely not completely against universal law in every way. And I was what I would call a victim of that, because they are beyond bullies. They take people's children unnecessarily, and they claim that it's because they don't want blood on their hands. Again, staging horrible events and whatnot, so that they can continue their operations. And it's very, very sad and very sick, and I expect for all of that to stop. That all needs to be reformed completely. And yeah, it must be reformed. But she said to me, like, she was very interested in speaking about all of this stuff. And she had gone through the molecular change because she lost a bunch of weight and then gained it back. Like, I saw, and I had gone through some of the same symptoms before she had started that happening, like last year, maybe a year and a half ago, that I saw her going through a very similar physical change as I had been going through. And, I gave her some information then that I had, She had no choice but to continue to work, she felt, and so she worked through it, and I agree, Big Red. I agree. So, like I was saying earlier, we need to come together and come up with some solutions together. It would be really, really amazing if we could do that more and more, because we are the ones that have the solutions, and they're going to want them. They're going to need the solutions from us, even if they're putting on a show. They need our solutions. That's what we're here for. We just don't realize how powerful we are sometimes. But so she said to me, she was telling me about a psychic medium that she watches, and how this woman talks about realms that are open and different spaces on Earth that are like actual doorways to new dimensions and things, and how it was just so intriguing to her. And I can't help but, want to share that, like, how do you all of a sudden tell somebody, like, you see dragons in the sky all the time? And, like, it's so weird. Like, I don't even know what to say. It's like humanity has gotten so far behind with what I've started to see and you guys see. That's okay. That's okay. But she said to me, like, oh, what? I see the Sirius clouds. And I'm like, yeah, Sirius clouds. I'm thinking. She's like, but that's just the climate change, and for such a smart, beautiful woman who's actually gone through that, that's what's called being awakened back into the Saturn matrix. But it's okay, because she's in a place giving people hope to get through that system while it transitions into being completely dealt with, like Big Red is saying. Like, thank God she's there to give the people that are still in the midst of that, the other angels like us who haven't completely woken up yet, who are in that enslavement, having their children ripped from them, having drug issues, alcohol issues, because they're trying to deal in this world, in that world. These are the things that I'm really passionate about, and that I am very determined to continue my mission to tend to and to help change in any way that I can. But, I think that our work will be much easier than we think going forward, and our hearts will be much more healed than we realize here in the coming days. So let's get through this crazy full moon that you guys might understand more than me. I do better with some than others. It's never a negative frequency coming from a full moon, but it is a very transmutative one, right? Hi, Arc of Joan. I'm going to see what you guys said. I'm not drugged up. I'm just being calm and quiet because my boys are sleeping in the next room. No, I haven't been drugged up for a while, but I felt like I wanted to be today for a little while. But no, I went ahead and changed my vibration, and I felt better. And no, I'm just kind of in a meditative state, I think. Yes, so many people are going through it. So our work is really, like I said earlier, we've done a finished work. Now it's just time that the people start seeking for the truth, and like, because we're here, the truth is out there to be found. And we broke Mother Earth free from her chains and opened up new realms of existence that were meant to be for humanity, so that we could restore the original covenant between humanity and God. So just realize how amazing and powerful you are, and just know that it is a finished work to a degree, but since we are who we are, we will never stop until our mission is, fulfilled completely, and there's no more human suffering, and all the souls are on a path back to their rightful place of home here, where they can also have their original covenant as human beings incarnated with Source. Yeah, yes, my skies. Yes, I love you too. We got this. I know, Kemba. Yeah, I need to keep myself busy. That's what I've been realizing. I had the message a while ago, okay, to get off the internet as much. Like, that's not where my work was lying any longer. To get out and spread the love out there. And I'll be honest, I was still healing and I was still overcoming things on my own. In some ways, I wish I would have listened. In other ways, I know that things are in divine timing anyway. But, I noticed that when I go out to set out to stay busy, there's plenty of people that need help and love that we can touch individually, and also people that can touch us and give us the reassurance that we need. And it really is about going out and spreading the love now. So that's what we're all going to do. Never stop until the universe is clear of the negative forces. Yes, truth and reality is definitely stranger than fiction, and it can be very mind-bending. But these are the truths that we were kept away from, that we will become accustomed to again, and realize that they're all here for the human experience, so that it's beautiful and loving. And Kemba, I ask that you continue to find relief from those things and that you continue to find peace without having to feel that way. I know that these things surface time to time with all of these energies. I haven't had a drink in years and years, and it's definitely crossed my mind lately, but I know that that's not going to help, and I've also seen that's the best way to channel Satan, so I'd rather channel Source for you guys than channel Satan. There's plenty of people channeling Satan out there, that's for sure. Break the chains that bind us, all in the name of the Most High Creator and Father and Mother God, and so it is, and so it shall be. I love it. Thank you, Arca Joan. That's a beautiful prayer. And it is. And it's like, it's the writing's on the wall. And now it's just the benevolence that will take care of it all. So I don't know if it's the Galactic Federation of Light. I know that's the name that we've identified with. Yeah, thank you, Rodzor. See, it's so nice to have contacts with some of you guys finally, because your hearts, you are not fooled by the lie, just like I'm not. It makes me feel so much less alone. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's not, it's not the Galactic Federation of Light. So when you see people pushing that, either they're misinformed or it's a hijacked narrative agenda. Sorry, but not sorry. We're the Anunnaki Earth Council, and we're here. We're working on the ground, and we obviously have help in the ether. So, of course, there's other star systems and everything that are here, so I'm not denying that. But there is something, I just want to make people aware of that. These are the higher beings from Sirius. That's why you don't hear about that a whole lot. So if you hear people speaking about the things that I am and that Rodzor is, then you're kind of like we're getting on some truth track. But all this other nonsense is just a way to keep people asleep and reawaken them into the Saturn Matrix, which is what has happened. I'm kind of glad not to have a big audience, but I do want these truths to get out there, and I know they will. But everything's been so convoluted out there with like these big channels that feature all these different light workers and channelers and everything. And it's hard to know whose gifts are whose and what, but it's becoming clear for all. So I'm not saying that they're all in on it, but there's a lot of misinformation, whether people realize it or not. And that's unfair to the people that are, light workers that are misinformed. It's not fair to them. They deserve to understand the truth so that they can continue on their own correct path and ascend as well. But that's what will happen. I'm very confident that that will happen. I don't know. I'll look into that, Rodzor. I'll let you know what I think. I think everybody will come around to it. I do believe that's why there's an oddball in every family. I like that. Me too. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, see, I don't know enough to probably speak on that. I just know that there are areas that have been so convoluted, so that we need to, like, clear it up. Yeah. Then you feel it. I mean, everything you've said to me, Rodzor, has been so on point. So I would just definitely trust your... Hi, Mary. Oh, so cute. I know, I finally want water again. Oh my God, you guys make me feel so... Yeah, Jesus is the way. You guys make me feel so much better, like knowing that you go through the same exact thing. Because we've been made to feel... I think that one of the scariest things that we've been made to feel is that we're all alone. And it's made out to be like a good thing. It's a real twisted thing, right? It's real twisted. Like, oh, you're your own universe and your own God now. You're your own I am. No, guys. We're a collective. We are a collective soul. We are a collective one soul. We're trying to help the ones that were disconnected from that soul to reconnect so that they can have their human experience the way that they were meant to. Even if they weren't like part of the original crew, it doesn't matter. You're human and you're here. You deserve to have the proper experience and the original covenant with source and soul. So I think that's one of the biggest things that we're here for. But yeah, sorry, my couch is squeaky. Where was I going with that? Just yeah. Good night, Big Red. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Freemason logic, no doubt. Exactly. Bless your water. Very nice. Thank thank you guys for being here. I'm going to let you all get some rest. I pray nothing but healing of the heart and beauty, and for fear to be completely lifted from us. We've been through enough, and please help us discern our thoughts so that all that's left is love, so that we can serve the ones that are going to need us in the coming days, weeks, and months, so that this can continue to go smoothly, benevolently, and perfectly emerge the way it was meant to. And we trust you. Love you guys. Peace and blessings. I'll talk to you soon.